Attorney General is fueling violence. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt slammed Chris Mays' remarks about possible lethal force against masked ICE agents.
This rhetoric against ICE, comparing them to Nazi Gestapo Donald Trump's police force, is despicable, it is shameful.
She also called it dangerous. Deion Sanders' bodyguard says the Colorado coach received about 5 death threats a day. In a video, security warned players not to let unauthorized people into facilities, saying everyone's trying to reach Coach Prime. And A$AP Rocky tops the Billboard 200 for the first time in over a decade. It's his third #1 album and his first #1 debut since 2015. Rihanna, his partner and mother to their 3 children, celebrated the win online. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Then hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Yo, turn it up. It's Gerod on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got us hard in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tune in out, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, yeah, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place.
Yeah, yeah. Lift it up, lift it up, pull it up,
y'all.
Put your hand to the side.
I can't say nothing because you have backup in there.
That's right, bro.
So I'm not saying a thing.
We about to
10 toes down.
be we about to be the Pips. We just wait for Gladys Knight to walk in the door.
10 toes down.
You got Tina Marie next to you.
Tina
There you
Marie
go.
up in
There
here.
you go.
Yes, indeed. What's going on, folks? Welcome. What's the day? Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
I know
Is-
y'all gonna be confused.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Is it Taco Tuesday?
I
Taco
keep coming on
Tuesday.
different days. I know it's confusing.
Somebody at the door for you.
For me?
Yes. Ice. You talking about some Taco Tuesday? That was terrible. That was racist. Racist. You shouldn't even say nothing like that.
How's it racist?
Taco Tuesday. And ice at the door for you.
I'm mixed with Latino, so it's not racist for
You
me.
better stop telling people that. Hello? Who is it?
They could kiss my butt.
I got a warrant.
Warrant these.
That's why I tell them. This show, of course, is going to be special today because she is here on special appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, special appearance. Would y'all please welcome the attorney extraordinaire, Suzette Bagnaris. Whoop, whoop. You know what you got to get? Stop breathing. But we got to get some. We got to get some applause up in here for stuff like that.
Yay.
No, I mean some. Soundtrack.
Yeah,
applause.
soundtrack of applause,
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm happy to be here today. I'm here today because we have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
Something hot off the press, very important. Today we're going to talk about power, accountability, retaliation, and the dangerous consequences of silencing truth.
Silencing truth.
Yes, today's show is about what happens when a civil servant, especially inside law enforcement, dares to blow the whistle on corruption within a city department.
Mm-hmm.
Because far too often, the person exposing the wrongdoing gets labeled the problem.
Yep.
Not the corruption,
Yep.
not the misconduct, not the abuse of authority. The whistleblower gets labeled the problem.
Right.
And that's what happens. What we are really witnessing is power protecting itself,
Mm-hmm.
issuing a complaint and signing off on the same complaint.
I never heard of that. And then those that are with it are just as much as at fault, in my opinion, as you look at somebody that has issued a complaint, and then as the supervisory person or overseeing this, you not only are the person that's issuing the complaint, you're also okaying it. So it's like you got the fox in the hen house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's be clear about what a whistleblower is. A whistleblower is someone who reports corruption, abuse of power, misuse of public funds, illegal conduct, or ethics violations. And instead of being protected, rewarded, or respected, they are targeted, harassed, investigated, isolated, and ultimately terminated.
So let's clarify something too, because and I need to make sure that everybody understands what we're talking about today. I said yesterday we're going to go back. We'll go back for a minute.
Throw it back.
So that we're talking about the same thing and everybody's on the same page, because we learned yesterday that some folks, when they turn on stuff, Pop Jones yesterday when he called in, he was like, "I missed it.
Yep.
I need to know what y'all talking
But-
about."
People can really find out what we're talking about now because we are officially, as of right now, on 107.1 FM.
Right now.
Right now.
How you like that?
Not now, but
We
right
made
now.
it to the big time. George and Wheezy. I feel like we coming on up.
Well, we're moving on.
Oh,
now.
How you like that?
To the time.
The number one show on WBOK has now made it officially to FM.
Yes.
We on right now.
Right now.
Don't
How
make
you
me-
like that?
Right now.
Don't make me walk out there and go look.
Right. Come
How you
come
like
and see.
that?
I
Well,
just
that's
made-
good.
I saw
Because
Nyron
now
I just saw
more
Nyron.
people will
I
get
just made the switch
educated
just
on
now.
what's going on in this city and how they can get involved and what they can do to lift their voice.
So Nyron just hit the switch.
I just hit the switch.
You hit the switch?
Mhm.
You
You
hit the
just
switch?
hit the
Yep.
switch.
So this has been on you
Switch,
all the time?
switch.
You ain't even know it?
No, I just learned how to do it.
Oh, so Nyron just taught you how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, so we give all the credit to Nyron. I ain't giving you no credit.
Okay.
I'm giving it to Nyron.
I'll switch you back off.
And you have all those people
We
calling.
just got there. We've been there for a hot second. We'd like to stay.
All right, so 107.1.
107.1 FM.
All right, that sounds good. That sounds good. We really thank everyone who supported us and wrote in and wrote on the Facebook page and called in and said, "Hey, look, we want to hear this show, this quality show on the FM." So we really thank them for that.
All right, so let me get back to the original of what we are talking about here, because I think this is very important, and we need to clarify a couple of things, because I don't want everybody to just be sitting back going, "What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about?"
This is important. So
This
back
is
it
important.
up.
So
Give them some background, and then we'll move forward as to where we're going with this.
we started this conversation when we found out that there was going to be a promotion in the New Orleans Police Department. The promotions were for folks to be able to take the captain's test. They would take that captain's test, and they would choose the top 7 or 10, depending upon. And those folks would have to go through certain issues, not only your test scores, but they would also have to be checking your record to see how you've been as a police officer, what's in your jacket, And I guess the folks that were doing the judgment would be the folks that say, "Hey, you made it. You're going to be promoted. You're going to the next level as a captain." In just a judge sense of me kind of clarifying, this is not only the details that you had to go through, but this is just part of it. But anyway, as we chose and we saw who was being chosen to be promoted, it made everybody in the police department, not just me, not just anybody else that's in there on the outside looking in, look around and say, "What the hell? WTH, WTH, and WTF." Because some of those names that were chosen to move forward with being promoted to captain, I'm going to just be honest with you, should have never been in that category. So we put on the air, of course, what we've been talking about for the last, year, just about. How did this person make it to the top when we're looking at the majority in race, not only just race, but also their smartness, their ability to say, "I'm intelligent enough to know the answers to this test." And what was being circulated throughout the police department, not by just one person, but many of those police officers, without them saying it to the brass at the top, they were saying, "Wait a minute, hold on. How did this person, because they dumb as a box of rocks. And this person, this person. So we also looked at it, and I think Professor Shepard also came in and said, "Hold on. Statistics, that's what you need to look at too in this whole scenario." I said, "What do you mean?" She says, statistically, with the number of African Americans compared to white individuals that are in this police department, how are the majority of the top brass in this police department that has an 80% African American base, how can we basically look at this and say the top brass that are getting promoted are mostly white? I said, "That's statistically impossible, isn't it?" She said, "Absolutely."
Made y'all take a closer look.
So we looked at this situation and we brought it up. Well, I mean, it was circulating throughout the entire police department. And not only that, you're promoting captains when I'm looking at the police department top rank, and the majority of those captains, they weren't leaving. They weren't going anywhere. And the majority of them were African American. Not no more. When we looked at the last photo, I was like, "Boy, the color just left.
Ain't there no more.
Ain't there no more." Ain't that a New Orleans song?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Talk about the old businesses.
Right.
What happened to them? They ain't there no more.
Right.
But anyway, as we got into this and started looking and digging deeper, we have found out that there could have been some cheating. Well, that same issue not only got to us, it also got to the mayor at the time, Cantrell. She said, "Hey, let me say something to my police chief," and that was, "We have heard that there may have been a scandal, and we want to stop these promotions and do an investigation on this, da-da-da-da." Well, and Kirkpatrick went to the federal judge and had her to sign off on, your friend, your horseback riding partner, to sign off on these promotions and disobey the person that hired you. You basically said, "Screw you. I need this federal judge to sign off on these promotions." And it did. and it overshadowed what the mayor said. Since that time, because we were like, wait a minute, hold on, da 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 da. You did a promotional ceremony that was private, it was in secret, and nobody knew the date except for those folks that were being promoted. We were all like, what? When is it? Oh, it already happened? But your police department was all saying the same thing. How did this happen? They just didn't say it to you. Well, we're looking around and seeing all these different things that are happening in the city. And we heard that there was one young man in particular that was responsible for the crime cameras in the city, also responsible for many of the cases that were not in front of just the regular judge and the district attorney here, but was also in front of the federal bench, which the FBI, he was on that FBI task force. Since that time, he has been charged. I don't know if I should say charged. That may be too much. But since that time, accused is a good word, of payroll fraud and also untruthfulness. Well, how long ago was that? Over 18 months ago. If you're going to do an investigation, does an investigation on what I have done wrong take over a year and a half, 18 months? So you sat him on the bench. Also, that since that time, the person that's supposed to, that young man that looks at these crime cameras, when we have events in the city, he's also on there saying, hey, to the police officers, these are the things. We got all these second lines. Those crime cameras tell police officers, hey, you're not in position, but I need you to be over here and take a look at this because they got a fight over here.
Keeping us safe.
Right. So we have nobody on those crime cameras because that's his specialty. That's what he does. He can also take those photos, send them to those folks on the street and saying, hey, police officer so-and-so, just send something to your phone. Here's a copy and here's a printout of that person. Look for them over here. They're over here, da-da-da-da. Well, we got all these crimes going on and these murders going on at these second lines. Y'all remember when she's standing out there, pow, 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 where they shooting and she can't hear because her hearing aid was probably on low.
When I saw that.
Police officers standing around her while she's doing a press conference or standing there listening to all the gunshots. She can't hear him and she's still talking. Everybody like, what the hell going on?
I thought she had nerves of steel because
no, that wasn't nerves of steel. That was nerves.
And they turn around looking and she just keeps on
kept talking. She couldn't hear it.
She couldn't hear it.
I was amazed. I said, dang. She
I
came
was
from the
amazed.
West Coast like a G.
I was cracking up laughing at something that really was not funny. It really was not funny because somebody could have been gotten shot.
But why was he sidelined, Gerod?
He was sidelined because but I would say too. Now let me make sure that I put this in perspective, and you may correct me on this one. I don't think it's because of untruthfulness, which he's been charged with, and I don't think it's because of being a whistleblower. I don't think that's who he is. They are accusing him
of being the whistleblower. And I'm here to say, whether he is or not, they think he is, and that's why they terminated him.
Right, but they think he is, but have no real proof that he is.
And I'm here to say, legally, even if he is the whistleblower, that makes it even worse because you have retaliated against this man for blowing a whistle, okay? Which we need people to blow the whistle inside of corrupt organizations, or blow the whistle when there is misconduct, or blow the whistle when there is an abuse of authority. And when that happens, a whistleblower is supposed to be protected. There's someone who blows the whistle and reports corruption, abuse of power, misuse of public funds, illegal conduct, and ethical violations. They should not be targeted, harassed, investigated, isolated, or ultimately terminated, as is the case here, because that is called retaliation.
Right.
And retaliation inside of a law enforcement agency is one of the most dangerous forms because it doesn't just destroy careers, it silences accountability and protects the corruption.
And that's when we all start yelling and screaming because we say that the blue wall is stronger than the truth. And now we're looking around and saying to myself that if this young man has not done anything wrong, why is he sitting on the sideline because of
being punished?
Yes. And from my sources, I had plenty of sources today, you too, have come back and said that hearing that we were talking about on yesterday happened today, and they sidelined him. They were basically saying, we're getting ready to get rid of you.
Oh, they said we are terminating you.
Yeah.
That's what they said, according to our sources. And let me tell you, this is a pattern with Granny.
And
This is a pattern with the superintendent, Ann Kirkpatrick, and we are here today to blow the whistle on that.
Yes, we got to talk about it because of the fact that this is nothing new, but we got to take the break first. So I'm telling you all that y'all need to go ahead on and tell some folks. Well, we're getting ready to uncover.
We're about to blow the whistle.
It's going to be one of them things that you have not heard anywhere else. So you all need to tell somebody, call somebody, text somebody, let them know that this is coming. We got to take the break first, and we will come right back with it next. More next.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Brian Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do every Monday. It's Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
When experience matters, results matter. John Johnson isn't promising, he's already delivered. As a state senator and chairman of Revenue and Fiscal Affairs, John Johnson authored a $215 million legislative package that rebuilt the Superdome, built the Saints training facility, and helped transform New Orleans' economy. He also secured more than $185 million for district improvements, including funding for universities, research, and infrastructure that created jobs and opportunity.
I know how to get things done for New Orleans and St. Bernard because I already have.
Experience, seniority, results. John Johnson for State Senate.
Paid for by John Johnson for Senate.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Tuesday's reality check. If those folks are taking a look at us on Facebook, you see that in the air chair, sitting right beside me is the co-host of this show, usually on Fridays, and I guarantee she here on an important day today. Suzette Bagnaris, the attorney extraordinaire. You and I and some other folks have had much conversation on today. As a matter of fact, I think that conversation started about, 12:30?
Yes.
1 o'clock at sometime. I mean, we just got out of it. And the reason why we just got out of it was because of the fact that we were discussing issues that seem to be hitting us in our face. And the majority of the folks that's paying attention are not paying attention. And I think that we all need to be outraged at what has transpired, especially with an issue that is with our police department, as we are looking at, I say, what they have seemed to put as a guesstimation, not truth and facts, but a guesstimation. And one of the things that was uncovered during this conversation, I think that you would do the honors in giving us that information, Suzette.
Well, let me just tell you this. You know, we're about to put you on. Like they say, let me put you on game.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a story that is going to be talked about for the next 2 years. The last time I was here talking about this is what's coming in the legal game. You can look for this. You can look at these indictments. You can look, this is going to be criminal action. You know, you may not have taken it seriously. And now you see it has come to pass. Now I'm here to tell you, watch the superintendent of NOPD and watch what is about to happen. Be careful what you ask for.
Be careful what you ask for.
So the pattern, how retaliation really happens, let me tell you what the retaliation playbook is, and then I'm going to tell you how what has happened today here in New Orleans to Detective Chad Cockerham is the exact same thing that happened to a detective named Jay Mering in Spokane, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you the playbook first, and then I'm going to tell you about that case. So this is what retaliation looks like. An officer or an employee reports misconduct. Leadership gets angry about that, and they become hostile. Suddenly, investigations start piling up. None of them really find any wrongdoing, but they build a paper trail. And every time the discipline seems to escalate and the detective or officer's reputation gets destroyed, termination normally follows, often for something vague like dishonesty or insubordination. And this is not discipline. This is administrative warfare. So this is what has happened to one of New Orleans' own, one of our best and finest. Now, let me tell you why this is a pattern of conduct for Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick. Let me tell you about a case out of Spokane, Washington, involving Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick. A detective named Jay Mering reported misconduct. What happened next? Multiple internal investigations, repeated discipline, isolation, public humiliation, and ultimately termination. The department claimed he was dishonest. He was insubordinate. Sound familiar?
That's where we are now.
A jury didn't buy it. They found Ann Kirkpatrick guilty of retaliation, abuse of authority, and violation of the detective's constitutional rights. And they hit Chief Ann Kirkpatrick personally with punitive damages. So let me repeat that. The jury held Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick personally accountable. This was not just about the city. This was about an abuse of power when she was the chief in Spokane, Washington. Now, let me bring this home. New Orleans is a city where we demand transparency. We fight corruption, we assist on accountability, and we believe public servants should serve the people and not themselves. But when whistleblowers inside our systems are silenced, punished, or destroyed, corruption thrives. If officers are afraid to speak up, then bad cops stay protected, misconduct spreads, and public trust collapses, and the community suffers. So let me tell you about this case. In this case that I'm talking about right now, the Spokane, Washington case, the jury found that she had targeted a whistleblower. The jury found that she engaged in deliberate, escalating pattern of retaliation designed to silence, isolate, discredit, and ultimately terminate a whistleblowing officer. And they said this was not a single act. It was a coordinated campaign of retaliation. Detective Jay Mering engaged in protected conduct, including reporting misconduct within the Spokane Police Department, of which she was the chief, challenging improper investigations, raising concerns about leadership decisions, and speaking out against internal corruption and mismanagement. And this is a protective activity that triggered the retaliation. That established a causal foundation for a First Amendment retaliation and wrongful termination claim on the part of that detective. Before whistleblowing, that officer had good performance, no serious discipline, and a solid reputation, just like Detective Chad Cockerham does here. After the whistleblowing, he was suddenly labeled problematic, disruptive, uncooperative, and dishonest. This abrupt change was key evidence of a retaliatory motive. The lawyer that handled that case is a guy out of Spokane, Washington. His name is Bob Dunn. He's with the law firm Dunn and Black. The detective, like I said, was Jay Mering, and the defendant was Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick. Don't be surprised if you don't see Lawyer Dunn on the scene here in New Orleans, waiting to take up the cause for Detective Cockerham. It's coming.
Yep. And he's more than willing to do so because he knows several different things about this case.
In that case, Gerard, the jury ruled against Ann Kirkpatrick. It was a $700,000 plus verdict, and it included $250,000 in punitive damages
that came out of her pocket.
Personally assessed out of her pocket. The jury found wrongful termination, retaliation, due process violations, and intentional or reckless infliction of emotional distress.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things too that that I haven't had a chance to really, because we just came from that meeting and I didn't say too much about it at that time, but one of the things too that stayed in my head on the drive back over here was the fact that she was in Spokane, Washington. And I kept saying Spokane, Washington, which was 4.5 hours away from Olympia, Washington, where the state troopers' headquarters were for the state of Washington, and who was the chief of the state troopers in Washington State? Ronald Surpass.
Oh, so there's a connection there. Good buddies, one bringing the other down. Well, let's just say that NOPD leadership in the city of New Orleans really needs to take a look at this Mering case, because this Spokane case becomes extremely persuasive as a pattern of evidence with regard to Ann Kirkpatrick's abuse of police supervisory power, her retaliatory discipline, her weaponized investigations, and her pretextual terminations.
So none of this came up when we started making the decision on who was going to be the next police chief?
Well,
how much money you have cost? What other entities, as far as cities are concerned, as the leadership of that city in law enforcement?
Well, I'm going to be very clear. In speaking with Attorney Dunn, which I have, he indicated to me that this is a pattern of conduct for her, which he deems to be a quote-unquote evil woman.
Yes.
And he said that she's done this on several of the jobs that she has had. So let's be very clear. This is not an isolated incident.
This is a pattern.
And NOPD can support her if they want to. The mayor can support her if she wants to, but it's going to end up being a problem.
And I think that somebody need to be asking questions. You know, how do you not ask the question? What are they talking about as a pattern? What are they talking about? This didn't come up in your record when we talked about the independent police folks that are supposedly interviewing to find out what's your record. How did you get this job with that type of record when you were found? I don't know, was that saying that you're found guilty?
Liable.
Liable?
Found liable.
Okay. So you're found liable for over $700,000 in retaliation charges.
Plus $250,000 that
your
came out
own
of her
money.
own pocket. Now, it didn't take me long to find the case.
Nope.
It didn't take me long to find the lawyer. It didn't take me long to call him.
And
it only took 30 minutes for him to call me back.
Yep. And he basically said it a couple of times that this is an evil lady.
And it only took 5 minutes for me to convince him to come to war.
And he was like, I'd be more than happy to.
Whatever you need. Let me send you my entire file Send me your email, and I'm going to send you my entire file. Well, I'll have that entire file in about a week, and I can't wait to go through the transcripts to see what the testimony was. Because as I understand it from Attorney Dunn, she broke down crying during the trial a few times. So let's hear. Let's hear the pattern. Let's hear what she did there. Let's compare it to what she's doing here. And let's see who's the last man standing.
But this is a pattern that I think that nobody is or trying to cover up. I don't know if that's a cover up or not, but that's a pattern. This pattern should have been put forward a long time ago.
Somebody should have very easily Googled her name, came up with this case, called that lawyer, asked a few questions, and got the file. Because it didn't take me long. You watched me do it.
I watched you.
It took 30 minutes to find him, 5 minutes to talk to him. It's going to take me about a week maybe to get the file. And certainly they could have done the same thing.
And as this case against Chad Cockerham moves forward, we are also saying that Attorney Dunn is ready to go to war again.
Ready to go to war again. He believes in the cause. So, sometimes you go after the whistleblower and the whistle gets blown on you.
And those that are involved in this, I think that they know, but also are going along with this in the police department. And I think that at some point in time, there needs to be a conversation.
Pick a side.
Pick a side.
Pick a side. What side you want to be on?
And one is fine with me. But when the true information come out, you may not want to be named in that.
I don't think I want to stand with somebody who's already done this and there's already a case that can be cited in every pleading, in every motion as being analogous to the exact same situation.
Well, this part to me has, I think, not only ramifications of getting somebody terminated. I think the ramifications of this will be messing up somebody's career. Because how do you come back?
Oh, he's got a great claim, in my opinion, for damages. Mm-hmm. He's been sidelined for 18 months. They've damaged his reputation. I think he's got a great claim for damages. I can see his case ringing the bell the same way that the Merring case rang the bell. So there, the city of Spokane was on the hook for ringing the bell, and so was Ann Kirkpatrick personally. So does the city of New Orleans want to also be on the back end of a big judgment right now when you're already facing a budget shortfall?
Yes. You're going to bankrupt the city.
Do you really want to stand on that? I mean, sometimes you really need to ask yourself, is this really the road I want to travel down? Investigations being weaponized, discipline being manufactured, termination being retaliatory, a chief abusing her authority, violating constitutional rights. Is that really the side of history that you want to stand on?
And this is a pattern.
And this is a pattern. Now, we have blown the whistle and uncovered the fact that this is a pattern of conduct. If you don't believe me, go read the case. Merring versus the city of Spokane, the Spokane Police Department. Merring. That's the name of the case. MEHRING.
And what was interesting is the fact that everybody was talking about her getting, what was that, $1.2 million from, what was that, Oakland.
Right.
No one's really talked about
the money that had to be paid.
Spokane.
Right.
No one's had that conversation.
Well, we're having it here. Mm-hmm. We're having it right now. So, it wasn't hard to find. Like I said, took all of 35 minutes. So I think it could have been found if people wanted to truly vet. Mm-hmm. How good was your vetting if you couldn't come up with this?
So my question has been, and I think that they are paying very close attention. I know that we're being monitored today. I could care less that we're being monitored by those that are scared that we're calling out their names on this. I'm talking about the FBI now being very involved in this case.
Oh, this is not, I don't think this is going to be one with just civil ramifications.
This got federal.
I better, I think where there's smoke, there's fire. My first question, just as my gut as a lawyer, is why do this? There has to be a reason why you went so far to do this. So that leads me to question, why would they want to silence this man? What's the deal? Well, I think where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
So let's look at the cheating accusation. Okay? Could it be that you don't want anyone to really do discovery on that cheating allegation? Is there smoke and fire there? So you have decided to terminate this, who you think to be the whistleblower, because you think, if you can silence him, you can stop people from looking into that? Where there's smoke, there's fire. What is the reason why you're trying to silence this man? So you're opening a can of worms. We're going to investigate it all. Let's investigate the cheating scandal, and let's investigate all of the investigations you've opened on this man that were unfounded. And let's look at what happened today in this hearing. And was it really a hearing, or was it just a pretend hearing? Let's look at it. Let's look at all of it, and let's see if you followed his police officer's Bill of Rights. Let's look at that, and let's see how it all comes out in the end.
Because what has come out of that is the fact that when they went to the hearing, now this is all hearsay, they actually didn't even get a chance to speak on his behalf.
That's what I understand. So I guess we need to get the tape. And I think, Gerard, you have done a public records request.
Which was denied.
So why do you deny it if you have nothing to hide?
Said it was an open case.
Well, it's no longer open.
All right. So we'll do another one.
We'll do another one.
And ask for all the files related to this issue. Open case. PIB. Now, my question is, what is it that you all were, because our names came up in it as well, that the reason that this was such an investigation was because it was on the radar of them hearing this conversation about the cheating on WBOK, on this show. And it's not like y'all ain't paying attention to your own men and women in blue. Evidently you're not, though, but I'm just saying, you can't tell me y'all didn't hear that from other police officers.
Well, I think we just investigate everybody and everything, and let's just see where it all comes out. We'll do a public records request. Let's take a look at what happened with Detective Cockerham, and let's get the entire file from the Merring case, and let's look at the similarities. Let's see if they're analogous.
Well, I think you've already called out the similarities.
I've already got it. And having spoken to the attorney who handled it, he was very clear. It sounds like a mirror image of the case he's already handled
and he's
already won.
He was the one that said that this woman is evil.
This is a classic case of don't start none, won't be none. Don't start none, won't be none.
He ain't say that.
Yes, I said it. I said it and I'll say it again. Don't start none, won't be none.
Oh, Lord.
But if you're going to go there, let's really go there. Let's look at each investigation that failed, but each one moved them closer to termination. Let's look at who investigated and what did they do in these investigations that they brought against this man.
And I would even involve the lead detective or the lead assistant office of inspector general, that investigator as well. And I would even involve, now see, let me tell you how this part is relevant to this case. And everybody's going to go, oh, okay. Sometimes the less you say, the better. But now that all this is all coming to fruition, it's better we go ahead on and say it. This is one of the main reasons why you all have heard me on the air pushing to get Noonie to file a lawsuit or to file a request for the information from the OIG's office. Who's been in your office? Who's on that roll sign in? Who's having conversation? Who's on the telephone list? Not only has he had the ability to pick up and say, "Oh, what's going on with your recreation department? We should be able to investigate the recreation department." Noonan went as far as saying, "Okay, if you can do that, then we should be able to do that. Your public money as well. You're getting funded by our public money, so let's do a public records request." The pushback came from him because he didn't want to turn his records over at all. And then what came back to us was, and Noonan said it best. He said, "Hey, y'all don't want to know who he'd been talking to or the telephone records because it would blow the city up." Now, my question is, how many times have we heard that in the past? If you really knew who we were talking to and da-da-da-da, oh, man, the whole city would blow up. Well, let it blow. Let it blow. Put some dynamite or C4 on it. I don't really care because of the fact that these things need to be talked about, because what has been stated, and even in a memorandum that came from that office that had your conversation with an OIG or assistant OIG that said that you were talking in a very derogatory manner against the sheriff, against Stella Cement, who is the office monitor, and also Michelle Woodford, and Sean Ferguson. So if you can do that and speak derogatory toward them, and it's in a memorandum from somebody in your office, then I think that we want to see how this thing gonna blow up. I want to know who you been talking to.
Blow the whistle, baby. I'm ready to blow it up.
Blow the whistle?
Blow the whistle.
All right, we're gonna blow the whistle.
I'm gonna do like Too Short.
Have mercy. There you go again.
I'm gonna do like Too Short. Blow the whistle. Let's go.
All right, y'all. More coming up in a minute. We gotta take a break.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
I'm Wendell Pierce. Thanks for making WBOK your station. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422 for you all to get in contact with us. For all of those that are listening online, we appreciate it. And for all those listening on 107.1 FM, thank y'all so much for tuning in as well. Our guest today, unexpectedly but expectedly. That don't make no sense, G. Yes, it do. She's back in the air chair. Suzette Bagnaris, the attorney extraordinaire. Let me ask you a question, because as you're hearing this, because I think I kind of brought you in the fold when you heard this, and you were like, what? More like, what, and double what? And then you were ready to blow the whistle too, because you got your too short going at the same time. What did you hear? What did you hear when, and I'm like, what is your mind from a legal aspect? What is your mind saying about this?
My mind is saying that Detective Cockerham has a great case for municipal liability against the city, the police department, and Superintendent Kirkpatrick for under the Louisiana Whistleblowers Act, which is Louisiana Revised Statute 23:967. This statute creates direct liability for retaliation, harassment, fraudulent investigations, wrongful termination, and any adverse employment action. I believe that he will be able to collect his damages, which will include back pay, front pay, lost benefits, emotional distress damages, attorney's fees, and court cost. I believe that depending on the duration, the severity, and the emotional harm that he can prove, that, a typical jury exposure could range in upwards of $1.5 million. I think that the appointing authority bears the burden of proving legal cause, good faith discipline, and no retaliatory motive. That's on her to prove. Now, if the discipline is reversed by the Civil Service Commission, which I do believe it will be, because I think it was a sham hearing today, there'll be full back pay, reinstatement, interest, benefits, and attorney's fees. And then he'll also be able to get civil service financial damages. Okay? I think his federal civil rights were violated under 42 U.S.C. 1983 if whistleblowing was involved. I think he has a claim for First Amendment retaliation. This is a serious situation, and I think there will be personal liability of the superintendent. That's the most dangerous zone for leadership. I think she'll be found individually liable under Section 1983. If the superintendent directed the investigation, which we know she was the complainant.
Yes.
Ordered the discipline, which we know she did.
That's under the complaint.
Approved the termination, which we understand she will, and ratified the retaliation.
Which she signed off on.
Which she signed off on. She'll be responsible for individual liability under Section 1983, and personal liability will attach.
That means that'll come out of her pocket again.
Yes, absolutely. Qualified immunity does not protect retaliation. So this will expose her personal assets, her personal reputation, and could be a career-ending judgment. In addition, punitive damages are on the table and available when the conduct shows malice, reckless disregard, willful indifference, and abuse of power. That's exactly what retaliation is. So in Merring, the jury awarded personal punitive damages against Chief Kirkpatrick individually and exposed her to punitive damages. So, I think we also may have a claim here, now that I'm hearing the facts, for civil conspiracy liability. If HR, legal, internal affairs, and command staff acted in concert to build a pretextual termination case against him,
They liable too.
they're liable too. That's civil conspiracy. And that expands discovery, multiplies liability, and creates joint and several exposure.
So if the PIB folks, if the command staff all went and said, yeah, let's get them.
Let's get him. And if it shows that in the discovery, as I think it will, because I've looked at the Merring case.
OIG?
Yes, if the discovery reveals similar retaliation against others, a culture of silencing somebody who you think is a whistleblower, and repeated misuse of investigations, which we can lean on the Merring record now, okay? And we understand this may have also happened when she was in Oakland. We're looking into that now, okay? Then we'll show systemic liability under her guard, and that can trigger a DOJ investigation. That can trigger a consent decree. That can trigger federal oversight, and it also can trigger class action exposure, which just happens to be my wheelhouse. So these create, massive public risk of media scrutiny, which we don't need in the city of New Orleans right now, DOJ review, Inspector General investigations, City Council oversight, mayoral political fallout, police reform measures. These cases never stay quiet. So, I think that's what we can look for going down the road.
Now, I know those folks that are probably with the city that are monitoring us on today, which I know that they are.
They always do.
One of the things that I know that they're looking at right now is, hold up, we just got out of this consent decree. We don't need this type of issue coming forward, right, as they're saying we're going to let you all go from this consent decree, and here we go with this charge.
Look, we've already found the Merring case very easily in 35 minutes.
And the attorney that tried that case called right back. Left a message, and he called right back to say, and I heard him say this. This was nothing that you're making up, so I'll be your number one witness. And that was that man said, the attorney said, this is a very evil lady.
Absolutely. And so, and also raise the fact that this was a pattern, and we'll find the same pattern if we look in Oakland and we look at other places that she's been. So this could be the tip of the iceberg. And when this lawsuit is filed, there'll be an opportunity to conduct full discovery and issue what we call letters rogatory to all these other police entities to gather information of every investigation that she touched to see whether or not it was founded or whether or not it was a case against a whistleblower.
But my question is, and I'm going to let you answer this part because I think you can put it together better than I can. Why go after Chad? He's a senior police officer.
That's why I'm telling you. That's the question that just stayed in the back of my mind the minute, that I started hearing things about this.
And I don't want to make it sound like that I'm saying that he's, beneath anybody, because he's not. He's a very smart man, and I know his job is very important, and he's involved in over 100 cases that got to go to court, whether it's federal or state. Why go after him?
I can think of two reasons, because I've been thinking about it. One, there's smoke and there's fire in the cheating investigation, and you want to cover it up. Or two, somebody who's a friend of yours wants his high-profile position that's lucrative with the feds, and you want to give it to a friend. So you needed to move him out the way so you could put one of your friends in that position. I'll be very interested to see who gets his position, okay? Follow the money. I always follow the money in these things. So, that's the only two reasons I can think of for why this man was such a pain in that you needed to take this action. Because what you did was, here's the ramifications of what they did today. This particular detective is a key witness in several state and federal investigations.
Yep.
So by finding him, quote unquote, dishonest, you have just jeopardized.
You have messed those cases, all those cases up. Yep.
She felt so strongly about getting rid of this one man that she was willing to destroy.
You put a charge of untruthfulness.
Yes, all of the state and federal investigations
Now,
in
if I'm
which
an
he
attorney,
was a key witness. If I'm a
defense attorney,
I am filing
using
something
that
today. I am using it. So, what made you feel so strongly to blow up this one man's career that you were willing to jeopardize hundreds of state and federal cases?
And somebody need to be asking that question.
Somebody needs to ask that question.
And it sounds like to me the person that needs to really be asking that question right now and asking, is this true what they're saying? Her name happens to be Helena, last name Moreno, because this is your police chief. And whether you stand with her 10 toes down or not, it's getting ready to be some mess in this city, and a whole bunch of folks are going to be at risk for not having the justice that they need.
Those victims of those crimes
Yep.
need to be knocking on Ann Kirkpatrick's front door and the mayor's front door saying, you have jeopardized my case.
We got to take a break. We'll take a break here. News is coming up next, and we'll be back for the 5 o'clock hour, y'all. More coming up next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Washington's governor and attorney general warned they'll take legal action if federal agents violate the Constitution.
We will not allow this administration to turn our nation into an authoritarian regime. That is not our America, and we will not allow this administration to change that.
That's Governor Bob Ferguson, and he says agents will be held accountable and vows the National Guard will protect residents. Like Washington, D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton has ended her re-election campaign. The 88-year-old Democrat, first elected in 1990, was praised by Mayor Muriel Bowser for her fight for equal representation. And Kanye West is apologizing for past anti-Semitic remarks, taking out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal calling for healing. He also apologized to the Black community, saying he's sorry for letting the community down and asked for patience as he seeks change. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you, the attorney extraordinaire in the building, Suzette Bagnaris. And of course, y'all, if you're not only just tuning in on Facebook, that is, you can now tune us in on, of course, 1230 a.m., and you can turn us in and tune us in on 107.1 FM as of right now. You can do so. We appreciate you for doing so. And tell some folks that we are here, and I got to tell you, the conversation today is one of those conversations where you have discovered that everything ain't necessarily what it seems, and you need to know the real information.
This is going to be a case y'all are going to be talking about for the next 2 years. This is going to end up being a big one. This case is far bigger than one officer's career. Deeming a detective untruthful detonates a legal landmine across every case they ever touched.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they thought about that. I really don't think they thought about that. Under Brady versus Maryland, prosecutors have a constitutional duty to disclose evidence that impacts the credibility of a law enforcement witness. Once a detective is labeled untruthful, that designation becomes permanent impeachment material, mandatory disclosure in every case, a constitutional issue, not a policy issue. This means that prosecutors in every case that this detective handled must disclose this finding in every pending case, in every future prosecution, in every appeal, in every post-conviction proceeding. When a detective is branded dishonest, prosecutors must re-examine every case the detective investigated, testified in, authored reports in, obtained confessions in, secured warrants for, handled evidence in. So this includes closed cases, convictions, federal task force cases, joint state and federal prosecutions.
And remember, he on that federal task force.
He's on the federal task force. So you weren't thinking at all when you did this. This is maybe one of the dumbest decisions you've ever made. And these victims in these other cases, guess who they're going to blame for this? You. They're going to blame you. The defense attorneys are going to immediately attack all the search warrants, all the arrest affidavits, confessions, credibility, evidence chain of custody, probable cause foundations. This is going to result in suppression motions, case dismissals, reverse convictions, vacated guilty pleas. One credibility finding can unravel hundreds of cases. So you did not think at all when you did this. You did not think about the ramifications for every life that your decision was going to touch, just because you decided you had a problem with one officer.
That was selfish.
Oh, it was very selfish and very stupid. I'm going to just call it what it is. It's a stupid decision.
And whoever's advising, that got to be stupid too.
I don't know where these people get their advice from. I mean, I kept saying the whole time we were talking about, the other issue with the other political person. I kept saying, who is advising? And I have the same question here. Who is advising?
But I will tell you this, that some of the folks that are in the police department, that are police officers, that are the higher rank, that are the investigators, they are also not only just police officers, but they got law degrees.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think she could have spoken to Jason Williams before she did this. I just don't think she spoke to him. Had she spoken to him, I'm sure he could have seen down the road to see that by falsely branding this detective untruthful, the department endangered hundreds of prosecutions, compromised constitutional rights, and destabilized the integrity of the justice system, all to retaliate against a whistleblower.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just makes no sense. Who is advising people to do this kind of stuff? I just don't understand it.
All right, let's take some calls here. All right, what you say, Eric?
Hey, what's up, Gerard? Happy New Year, by the way. It's been a long time, man.
It ain't long enough. It ain't long enough.
It ain't long enough.
It ain't long enough.
Listen, I was listening here to your attorney friend rant and rave on the radio, and attorneys, they have to be ethical, and I think what she's missing the point is that we have people, defendants, who are probably serving time in prison, who may be in there unlawfully. They may have been railroaded by dirty police officers who lie. I mean, I've routinely come across New Orleans police officers that lie about small things that they don't have to lie about. So what makes you think they don't lie about the big things that they would have to lie about? So I would like to ask her, in the interest of expediency, would you rather see innocent people serve time in prison, or would you rather get down to the bottom of it and see what this officer did?
Obviously, you're having trouble following the show today and what the show is about. This is not what that show is. Now, I will agree with you that there are people who have been wrongly prosecuted and are doing time as a result of false confessions, coerced confessions, and misstatements by officers. That's not today's show. Today's show is about an officer who had a great reputation, such that he was appointed to a federal task force due to his outstanding record, who was wrongfully accused of blowing a whistle and then retaliated against. That's a different show. Now, I'm happy to do the show that you'd like to talk about, but that's not the show that we're doing today.
So again, Eric, you are again misinformed.
I just like to point out to your attorney friend is that Lynn Davis in the New Orleans police, he had a great record too until he killed a witness, and until they uncovered about the people that he actually ordered to be killed. He had a great record. He had all kind of awards. So I don't think that should be the benchmark.
Okay, so what you're asking and what you're saying is already proven.
I think he's saying all police officers are untruthful.
Yeah, but what he's saying is something that was already proven, and he's in jail for it. This one is not in jail, and it's unproven. And there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with being
And
a whistleblower.
There's not one allegation of wrongdoing other than
Yes.
what Ann Kirkpatrick brought against this particular officer.
All right. So again,
Well, you
you're
know-
off topic.
Well, no, because a lot of times it only takes one. It only takes one case to open up the floodgates. Look at Bill Cosby. He never had anything either until one person came forward, and then what happened? The avalanche came in. Same thing happened with Puff Daddy, right? Never had any problems until one person.
Hey, bro, what you
made the
talking about?
allegation.
Eric, what are you talking about? You're talking
Well,
about
you're-
somebody that has been
you're
proven to do
saying-
something,
well-
a criminal act,
Well,
right?
Well,
you're talking about a criminal act. You're talking about two people that were citizens that have criminal acts.
Lying under oath and playing evidence, those are criminal acts too, G. But you're not worried about those.
But is that
There's
what we're
no
talking about? There's no allegation of
any
that.
planting of evidence.
So what are you
There's
talking
no
about?
allegation of lying under oath in any case. What this
Well-
case is about is retaliation against an officer who they believe to have blown the whistle about a cheating exam. So are you saying that he should have allowed the cheating, or whoever blew the whistle should have allowed the cheating because cheating on the police exam is appropriate?
No, what I'm saying is this: if the police are saying
If
Shab,
was a ship,
what's going on, brother?
we'd all sail away.
Hey, I just want to ask this question, and I'll hang up and listen. In reference to this officer, where is chlamydia, Garnetchi, and then it's time for the black police organization to stand up, and I'll hang up and listen.
So I don't agree with you on that part. The reason why is because I think that the black organization of police is a whole lot smaller. I'm not going to say weaker, but I'm going to say smaller than the FOP or PANO. So if he's a member of BOP, which is Black Organization of Police, fine. But I know that you're more than likely a member of FOP. That would be the Fraternal Order of Police, which I would think would stand behind them with all the strength that they have. This is where I think that you would, and I was saying that, and I know that sounded bad said, so forgive me. I'm not saying I disagree with you about BOP in a derogatory manner. I'm saying more so that I would think that FOP, which is very strong, should be right there with them.
Okay, and lastly, what we're looking at is, in my opinion, the gentrification of perhaps the police department, where black people are losing power in their jobs.
Look at the captains.
Let me tell you something. I need you all to think about that phrase because it's going to be on the tip of your lips for the next 2 years. Gentrification of our systems in New Orleans. I really think that you're going to see gentrification of the police department. You're going to see gentrification of the judicial bench, civil and criminal. I think you're going to see gentrification of the city council. This is where we're heading. So, she was silently, quietly changing the look of the entire NOPD administration until somebody started questioning, how is this possible? Statistically, this is not possible, which led to widespread discussion of cheating allegations. Someone blew the whistle. They accused this officer of blowing the whistle and then targeted him to terminate him from employment. Someone with a stellar record. We're not talking about somebody who had a negative record. We're talking about someone who had rose through the ranks and was so highly regarded that they put him on a federal task force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
All right. Remember this. You remember when they robbed the bank? Because this is something that I pulled up too. They actually had a bank robbery at the end of 2023. That was at Canal and Jefferson Davis. Remember?
I remember that. I remember that bank robbery.
Once the bank robbery happened, the perpetrator did several carjackings too. Guess who was the guy who said, I'm going to get on top of this and I'm going to get the persons and make sure that y'all know who this person is.
To bring him to justice.
To bring him to justice. That was Chad.
And now, defendants, who I'm calling them defendants because they're going to get sued. Defendants maybe in their unlawful retaliation against Chad, have compromised the credibility of criminal prosecutions, exposed the city to massive civil liability, and undermined the public's trust in the justice system.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I mean, that's where we are.
All right, here's another one for you. So let's pull this up. There was a group in the 9th Ward, and they had all that shooting and all that other stuff that went down. This was March 2024 through June 2024. The case was a fight that took place in the park. Remember when we were in the park and in the lower 9th Ward, everybody was like, yeah, I remember that. It resulted in approximately 100 plus casings that were fired on the scene. They worked that group. And I can tell you that Chad was out there making sure that he could get those folks. Because they had so much yellow tape, because there were so many folks out there, the yellow tape was everywhere because they were doing so much shooting out there in that park.
And now Kirkpatrick and her team, maybe in their unlawful campaign of retaliation, have shattered the credibility of every case this detective ever touched, including that one.
Mm-hmm. So if I am a defense attorney.
Oh, it was a good day for defense attorneys and criminals.
I'm jumping up and down right now.
It was a good day for defense attorneys and criminals.
Mm-hmm.
It really was.
Let's get Don. Don, what you say?
Hey, Gerard, it's Bagnaris. I've been listening to, the conversation. And one of the things I was thinking about, you were talking about all these people that are probably going to be involved. And one of the things I wanted to ask a question about is what happened to the judge? What's going to happen in that particular situation where she signed off on, Kirkpatrick's, getting all these people, to I guess get higher office and all that.
Well, she's a federal judge. This is a federal judge that signed off on a case that had nothing to do with federal ability to say anything. This is actually a state issue with your NOPD. Why is she signing off on this case, saying, "Oh, I see there was no cheating"? What?
You're right. That's what I'm getting at. I'm wondering, if that's some kind
it has
of
no
legality.
no merit whatsoever.
And let's just call it out. The judge who presided over all of this
is Susie Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
They ride horses together.
And I'll take it a step further, Gerard. What happened with the situation with Kirkpatrick giving the OIG a gun and a badge?
We found out that that's not necessarily true. It had to do with the legislator who actually put in legislation through the state to allow this to happen.
Okay.
That's I'll find out exactly. I actually pulled it up. I forgot to bring it to the table here, but I'll bring it up during the conversation.
Yeah, it's just so many things going on, and with Noonan mentioning about the fact that he can't, get records and all from the OIG's office. It just makes it seem as though so many different things are going on with so many different departments here in the city. I think they need to look at all of these things, once this thing comes to fruition, so that we can get an understanding of all of the things that are going on and whether or not, public records could be gotten like it's supposed to be, or if, people like the OIG can step in and say, I'm going to wait and we'll see what happens down the line. So I think all this needs to be brought, to the public and let them know exactly what's going on with all these different departments. But I'll hang up and listen. Y'all doing a great job.
Okay. Appreciate it, brother.
Well, if you're just tuning in, I pointed out that the Spokane case is the liability blueprint for Detective Cockerham. Spokane case against Kirkpatrick teaches us that personal liability is real, punitive damages are real, retaliatory investigations can create massive exposure for the city, for the police department, and for the superintendent directly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the Merring case, I want y'all to look it up, Google it. Merring versus the Spokane Police Department. That's the warning shot to every police superintendent in America. But apparently Ann Kirkpatrick did not learn her lesson from being liable and having to pay $250,000 personally, because she's done the same thing that she did to Detective Mering in Spokane here to Detective Cockerham at NOPD.
All right, let me give you your answer, Don, because one of the things that you asked was about this being able to carry. So this is what came up. Let me go back. Now, this is hearsay, but I need to repeat the case in itself because these are the things that were said. Now, we can pick up the phone and ask, but I don't think that we'll get that answer because of the fact that this seems to be a political nightmare. So one of the things that came up during the time that we saw there was so much rift going on between Susan Hudson, the sheriff, and this letter that came out about Susan Hudson that was supposedly that came out from one of the staff members of the OIG's office that wrote and said that the OIG was also doing derogatory conversations in his office about the sheriff, about the former interim NOPD chief, which was Michelle Woodfork, and also talking about Sean Ferguson, with him being in that position as the superintendent, saying that they were this and they were that. I mean, I don't want to repeat everything that was stated because it was derogatory, but it was because of the fact that they would not give commissions to the OIG inspectors to carry guns. Now, what has come out of here, and I just put a AI overview on it, based on provided search results, there is no mention of specific Louisiana state legislature bill designed to allow the New Orleans Office of Inspector General staff to carry guns. The recent 2024 Louisiana legislative session, led by lawmakers such as Senator Kurt Talbot, Representative Blake Miguez, focused on passing constitutional carry permitless concealed carry. But there was a state legislature in New Orleans that wrote legislation for the OIG's office to be able to carry. Now, this state legislature, this person did not write legislation for any other OIG office in the state of Louisiana except for Orleans Parish. And that was for the OIG's office to be able to carry. Why would that be? If you're going to write legislation as a state representative, why wouldn't you write it for the state's OIG instead of just one parish? Make you go, Makes you go, All right, we'll take a break here. We'll take another break. We'll come back, have some more conversation with you in just a minute, y'all. We ain't done. There's more coming up.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. You know, they really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. You know, the little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research. I think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers, speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Pardon me if I'm not surprised that the state of Louisiana has put the kibosh on DEI. Governor Jeff Landry says he wants to return to the way it used to be. Hell, the way it used to be? Does that include slavery and Jim Crow laws? Landry insists his reasoning for removing the diversity, equity, and inclusion language from state civil service hiring policy is to shift the focus back to strict merit-based employment, as if there was such a thing ever. Landry and other hard right-wing Republicans are of the belief that DEI hinders true equal opportunity, favoring unqualified minorities and others over otherwise well-deserving whites. Civil rights proponents argue that DEI policies exist and are necessary because the playing field was never equal in the first place. Moreover, that removing such policies will only increase barriers for marginalized citizens attempting to gain fair access to public employment. Now, I'm old enough to remember what it was like prior to the passage of the Civil Rights Act, when African Americans were still being subjected to centuries-old systemic discrimination and exclusion that left blacks and women underrepresented in the education and job field. It's indisputable that the United States has a long history of discrimination. Affirmative action programs were created after the Civil Rights Movement to counteract such discrimination. Lest we forget, it was the Trump administration that began the nationwide attack on DEI. And now with the backlash underway to seemingly undermine the progress of African Americans and other marginalized groups, I have serious doubts about whether removing DEI programs will bode well for the marginalized. I'm equally troubled by the statement made by Trump recently, alleging that whites were treated badly by the Civil Rights Act. Let that sink in. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. Gerard Stevens with you, along with the attorney extraordinaire. It is Suzette Bagnaris.
And I just want to point out how easy it would have been for them to vet Kirkpatrick properly and find this case in Spokane, Washington. And I also want to point out that while we're on the air here, our phones are lighting up, receiving texts and calls from current and former police officers saying the same thing.
That happened to me.
This happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was threatened with retaliation. I was warned not to file complaints. I was told my career would be over if I spoke up. This is no longer about one officer. It is becoming very clear that this is a pattern of conduct. This is a culture. This is a system where fear is used as a management tool. When multiple officers independently say they were threatened for filing complaints, they feared termination for speaking up, they were warned to stay silent, that is no longer a coincidence. That is institutional retaliation. That is systemic intimidation.
A pattern
that is
of
a
conduct.
culture of fear. That is a pattern of conduct. That is a ripe reason to take over a police force and put it under a police monitor. Because when officers are afraid, misconduct stays hidden, abuse goes unreported, bad actors stay protected, and the community never gets the truth. That's not policing. That's power protection.
There you go. All right, Galloway.
Brother Gerard.
Yes, sir.
The councilman. The councilman still there?
Yeah, she right here. She talking to
okay. I just wanted to say, y'all remember that old blues song? Everything is out in the open. I love it. Put everything out there. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Well,
Y'all
let me sit here for 10 more minutes and I might have a class action coming.
That's
because
what
I'm telling you,
about.
if the phone is hot, the block is hot.
Bring it. I love it. And you said something, and the caller said something before. The gentrification of New Orleans is starting. It's right before our eyes. We are on the last major black city. And look what we got as a superintendent, that's a police chief, a white woman, and a mayor, that's a white woman. CEO, that's a white woman. Tax assessor, that's a white woman. I can just keep going down the list. We're a majority black city with no black people in power or in leadership. But once they get a hold of that police department, it's curtains. If y'all got it, keep it going.
Well, I got a message to all the officers, past and present, listening right now. If you're an officer and you're listening to this show, document everything, save your messages, keep your timelines, protect your evidence. Because when one officer speaks, they can be silenced. But when many speak, the system must respond.
And I would say this, I'm going to actually put you in a position that those officers that know that they have been retaliated against and they have that information, as far as a class action lawsuit is concerned, I would suggest that they need a bulldog. They need somebody like you.
Look, this is an issue that I can sink my teeth into. You know I like these causes where I'm doing it because it's just the right thing to do, okay? This is one of those things where it's just the right thing to do for the men and women in blue. And let me say to the leadership, if your officers are afraid to file complaints, you do not have discipline. You have coercion. You do not have accountability. You have intimidation. And that's how systems and institutions fall apart.
Yep.
So what we're witnessing live on this show today is the sound of silence breaking. And once silence breaks, truth becomes unstoppable. So gather your evidence and hit me up. Hit me up. Because we're going to blow the whistle on the people who want to retaliate against the whistleblowers.
I want to say this. Two things that y'all said also about the defense attorney. If I'm a defense attorney and that police detective handles anything on one of my cases, I'm calling Ann Kirkpatrick to testify as a character witness because of what she said about that man being untruthful. That's going to hurt way more people than I believe Grant and Clampett going to realize.
This man has been on the force for a long time. Do you know how many cases defense attorneys are going to cite to their decision calling him untruthful to undo? She has opened a can of worms without even thinking it through all the way.
It's going to hurt her.
In state and federal court.
And it's going to hurt her.
But it's also going to hurt the victims of those crimes.
Yep.
The victims of those crimes, even cases where they were adjudicated to be guilty, are at risk now because you decided you wanted to cover up whatever was going on over there that you did not want exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the only thing I can think of. Why would you do this?
I'm telling you this. If you go back, just like y'all found that case in Spokane, you go back and look at that case in Oakland, this woman has a problem. When she don't like something, either she's going to get fired or she's going to fire somebody. But the bottom line, it ends up in court because it's a lot of dirt that she's been doing. I just don't understand how she keeps getting hired. So was it a shadow government that told American Trail, pick this woman or else? Or did she just find her way to New Orleans and say, I'm the woman for the job?
Well, I got to tell you, the lawyer we spoke to today, Attorney Dunn, he asked the same question. He said, I don't know how she keeps getting hired.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That attorney actually just basically said she's a very evil lady.
And he clearly said, lift up the rug and look at the Spokane Police Department. Look at Merring. Lift up the rug and look at what she did in Oakland as the chief of police from 2017 to 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Lift up the rug and look what she did in Chicago when she was the deputy chief from 2019 to 2023. The pattern crosses jurisdictions across 3 major departments. And look at the timeline that she's at these places. She's only there for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And see,
why?
Well, one of the things, too, that I kind of put in perspective, and I put this together myself, is the fact that we saw when there was a chance to pick a local to be your police chief, that we saw three candidates, one local, one out of Texas, and the other one was Kirkpatrick. We saw the Texas person who had his incidents with shooting and killing a man. I don't know what that was, in self-defense or as a police officer, who basically got scrutiny for that, and he went and left and took a police job as a chief in Texas. So the only 2 that were left was Michelle Woodfork and Kirkpatrick. So what has happened in that case, to me, now this is just me, I'm putting 2 and 2 together on all the stuff that we talked about when this was going on. And that was the deciding factor in this whole issue may not have been the police chief. I'm sorry, the mayor. It may have been the International Chiefs of Police Association that was the one that was searching for this police chief in the first place. But guess who's on the board? Guess who was also the chief of the state troopers out of Olympia, Washington State. That's Washington State. Guess who was in Spokane, Washington State? And that's 4 hours away. So the person that was head and also a member, lifelong member of the International Chiefs of Police, works over there at Tulane.
And I'm just going to say this. If Michelle Woodfork had become the superintendent, and if she had promoted all black people to be at a higher level to the detriment of whites, and if she had drafted a complaint and then signed off on it, the discipline herself, they would be stringing her up. They would be lighting her up right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, it's just the same as what happened at the beginning of last year. If you remember, first month of January 2024, there was a string of murders that happened in January. And all you saw was her face all over the television news because they were blaming it on her. Until there was a big decrease in police murders. I'm sorry, in murders that went on during the year.
I tell you what, y'all keep putting this information out here. It's going to get national. And I don't think that the horse riding ladies, Helena and the other woman, is going to be able to save you. Because once those police officers get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they form their own blue line, something about to shake.
Well, look, they're getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, because I'm telling you, me and G have been on this radio now, I don't know how long, an hour and a half. When I tell you the phone is hot, the block is hot, the officers who are being threatened are coming forward. You know, we have enough here just in the text messages we've received today to say this is a pattern of conduct. And based upon Kirkpatrick's command history, I'm telling you that I think if I issue letters rogatory to Spokane, Washington, Oakland, California, and Chicago, Illinois, each location is going to have internal affairs files, HR disciplinary records, civil litigation records, union grievance files, and inspector general oversight body reports that will establish a pattern and practice of retaliatory discipline and weaponized investigations against whistleblowers. So, you know, like I said at the very beginning, you want to fire the whistleblowers?
Here we go.
We might blow the whistle on you.
Keep doing what y'all doing. I love it. I love it. I love it, because I'm sick and tired of watching Granny Clampett come on TV like she just ain't beef for Mayberry, like she ain't did nothing wrong. Baby, you got enough spider webs in your closet, and it's all about to get exposed. What I tell you, the black press, the black media always gonna tell you the truth. Galloway up out of here. Thanks for taking my call, Gerard.
All right, Galloway.
I guess the question is, who's lining up with her? Who's going to back this decision and expose the city to civil liability and just implicate all of these potential state and federal cases? Who's going to do that? Who's lining up with her? Who is willing to stand on the line and sign their name on this, which is going to end up in the same way as the Mering versus Spokane Police Department case?
Now, can you imagine just the tentacles that are going to reach from these cases that Chad's involved in? So the cases that Chad's involved in, how many going to reach out to other folks that's involved in some of these cases that maybe even Chad's involved in? So I got 100 cases at least. Mm-hmm. How long would that take?
And then think about it. You start issuing letters rogatory to these other police departments, and you tell them that you're looking for these various files. Their city attorney is going to call to say, hey, Ms. Bagneris, I got your subpoena. What are you looking for? Mm-hmm. And you say, well, I'm looking to establish a pattern and practice of retaliatory discipline and weaponized investigations against whistleblowers. And then the person on the other end, the attorney for those cities goes, OS, uh-oh, we got a problem.
Did you say whistleblowers?
Whistleblowers. Blow the whistle. Let's go. You want to talk about the whistleblowers? You want to come for the whistleblowers? We might just have to blow the whistle on you.
I don't know why.
We'll blow the whistle on you.
You walked right into that.
We'll blow the whistle on you.
Why?
Let's go, Wick. Let's go, Wick.
You know she can get down. I don't even know why you play, bro. Why you play?
I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. You want to come for the whistleblowers? You might get the whistle blown on you.
But we gave them.
Oh, we warning today. Today's the warning shot.
Not only today, no.
Yesterday.
We gave him a warning shot yesterday. We gave him a warning shot and said, listen, we have not exposed half of the information that we've got.
No.
None.
And we gathering more by the minute.
And more is coming every single minute. Your phone blowing up, my phone blowing up. Everybody that is involved or wants to be involved or has had some type of retaliation toward them as a police officer is calling.
They're blowing a whistle.
Speaking of blowing a whistle, Noonie!
I thought we were going to hear from Too Short. It's Noonie.
Suzette Bagneris, how y'all doing?
We're doing well. I thought it was Too Short calling in.
Well, since y'all blowing the whistle, Noonie about to tell you some tea.
All right, let me get my cup.
I thought you was going to bring the Noonie sauce.
Let me get my cup.
I was at the restaurant eating my red beans, and eating it. I said, listen to Suzette and Gerard. Oh, this one going to get you, Gerard. Oh, this one is big. Listen to this. speaking of PIB, speaking of they covering up, did you hear the one where the police officer tried to get her husband killed? Sonia Pollard tried to get this man, Brian, and he didn't put the PIB complaint in and everything, and Keith Sanchez, PIB trying to cover it up.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, and it's hot. It's hot.
Now, did this
because
go in front of
the
a
man-
board? Now, did this go in front of the board? Because this is when we had the conversation with Adonis.
That's right. Oh, we going to get to that too, Gerard. Oh, it's going to be hot today. So anyway, she tried to kill this man. The man got the video. He got the tape and everything. Keith Sanchez and all of them have covered the case up. The officer name is Sonia Pollard. How do we know her?
That's
we
his
know her
former
from
wife.
A lot of cases, right? A lot of cover-ups with the sexual assault. So they're covering the case up, and this dude, Brian Pollard, got arrested. And Jason threw the case out because they said he did something wrong.
Oh, that's
and
my
all
witch
he
doctor. That's my witch doctor, Zulu
Oh,
2025
yeah,
witch
Suzette,
doctor.
that's your witch doctor.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Suzette.
Now,
That's
you
why
know
I
I'm
called.
10 toes down for my witch doctor.
Now, am I
Hey, look.
wrong in saying that Brian is a former police officer as well?
That's right. And so they've been covering this case up. She planned on killing that man. And she was going with the convicts out of jail, and she hired a convict to kill him, something out of Tyler Perry movie. Now, Adonis, the girl you talking about, guess what they did, Gerard? And you saw the case. They cleared all the officers. They cleared all of them. This girl been shot 3 or 4 times. Sonia Pollard had that case. Got that girl, the girl gets shot. She tried to make the girl lie on the witch doctor. Then she telling the girl how she wants to kill Brian and how the plot went. And they throwed all that under. Let's bring all the tea to the table today.
Let's bring it to the table because, you know,
And it's a
we got a lot of stories that they don't even realize we know about retaliation against people that we can certainly bring to the fore. If that's what you want to do, let's just blow the whistle all day.
And just because the man got the video, sent the video to him, and everything, the ring doorbell footage of her in the bed with the man and all that stuff. But the dude, Brian, that is wrong. They locked this man up, sent him to jail. The case got dismissed. Keith Sanchez and the same PIB people you're talking about. Joe Waggerspad and all them. And so since they won't play whistleblowers, I'm sounding the whistle off.
Let's all sound the whistle off because I'm telling you, once you start, where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Because I
And
also
right now,
could blow the whistle on how they retaliated and put Baby in the corner. Now, Baby knows who she is, okay? And they retaliated against her because she was in contention for a certain job, and they put Baby in the corner until Baby got tired of it and Baby left. Okay,
and
so
look,
Baby knows who Baby is, but I'm here to tell you, that once we start opening this can of worms, and we start talking about all of these things y'all been trying to cover up and keep quiet, the whistleblowers may end up blowing the whistle
on
off
themselves.
the whole thing.
Yeah, on themselves.
The roof may blow off.
And one more thing, Suzette. You as a lawyer, you know they got to get a public request up. These 3 judges holding it, just like Gerard said. When I get those 3 requests, Pandora's box going to open because I'm going to take them to the Supreme. I'm going to take them to the federal court. Open Pandora's box.
Oh, I got news for you. We're not going to civil district court because y'all don't pay your judgments. I already know that game. We're going to federal court, where you have to pay your judgments, where they're going to make you turn over the records. Okay, we're tired of playing with you over at 421 Loyola, where you can get a big old judgment against you and not pay it. We're going to go over to federal court on Camp Street, and we're going to get them to produce everything because they're also ignoring public records requests.
Which is what, 72 hours?
Okay, 72 hours you're supposed to have. Y'all want to say we're not giving it to you because it's a pending investigation. I don't think there's a pending investigation excuse.
Nope.
That's right. So I'm ready to get with you, and you show me how to get this federal lawsuit.
We're about to go work it. We're about to go work it because I'm telling you, we're sick and tired. We're sick and tired of retaliation against New Orleans' finest. Okay?
That's right.
We have homegrown
That's right.
people who have worked their way up the ranks in NOPD, and now you want to gentrify it. Now you want to gentrify it, and now you want to dismiss them and terminate them and try to muddy their record up, and you make them miserable until they leave.
Yep.
That's
We're
right.
tired of it.
So y'all keep on going with the show. I'm about to eat my red beans some more and listen to y'all.
Eat your red beans, baby, because we're going to be talking about this for months and months and months. Now, if let me give a little advice. You know, sometimes I give a little advice, right?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I give a little free advice on here. Let me give some free advice. Just like I told TD I'd bring her to the U-Haul and I'd help her pack it. Let me give Ann a little free advice. Don't sign that recommendation to terminate Cockaham.
No.
Because the minute you do it, I have you as the complainant
and
the person who signed off on it.
Right.
Okay? So think long and hard.
And that's not, you got to have a complainant, and you're the supervisor. How you going to sign off on a complainant and you're the supervisor?
I'm not just a member. I'm the president of the hair club. Okay? I mean, come on now. And you're making it too easy. You're making it too easy.
Well, I got to tell you, Suzanne.
You got another case in Spokane. You got a record of doing this in Oakland and Chicago. And now I got officers just blowing up the phone saying, me too, me too, me too, me too.
But they're smoking the weed. They're smoking the weed, the rats. That's what they did. They're eating the weed. I'm sorry, I thought they were smoking it. Take a hit. They're smoking.
We told y'all not to bring her here. We were on this air, 2 years ago, Gerard? A year ago?
And both of us got...
And both of us were saying Michelle Woodfolk should have been the superintendent. Both of us were saying that Michelle Woodfolk had worked damn hard and deserved that job. Both of us said she was being retaliated against because she would not bend to power, and she was trying to do the right thing. And what happened to her? She got retaliated against, okay? She may not be on the air saying it, but I'm going to say it. Y'all did Michelle Woodfolk wrong. Now, good for her. I'm happy for her. My girl has landed on her feet. She's going to end up at the sheriff's office. I am applauding her. Let's not say it was a comeback because you deserved it. You deserved it, okay? But let's just look at what's happening here. You are so hard up to get rid of these black officers who are succeeding.
Yep.
That you are willing by any means necessary to get rid of them. And you're getting rubber stamped? You're getting rubber stamped for doing this? Girl, get out of here. But how does it go? GTHOF? I don't even know what kind of acronym goes, but she needs to go. If I were Helena Moreno,
oh Lord.
If I were Helena Moreno,
see what y'all done
she would be let go immediately.
It's time to say bye-bye.
GTFS?
It's time to say she's PTSD.
PTSD.
She had got the whole alphabet going right now.
I had the whole alphabet going. It might not be in order, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Girl, bye.
Yeah.
It's time for her to go. She shouldn't have been there in the first place. Y'all put her there anyway. It's time for her to go. And if you don't want to let her go, stand with her 10 toes down when we get that judgment against the city. Stand with her 10 toes down when there's another judgment against her personally for being liable for wrongful termination.
Well,
Go ahead. Let's do it.
I just want to say that the rats are high.
Say goodbye.
We got to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Say goodbye.
No,
Well, we're going to end with girl bye.
I just want to say that the rats are high. What's wrong with that? I think I need to smoke a little too. Suzette, would you like a hit?
I knew the show was going to go off the rails sooner or later.
When the jury comes back.
And
the jury comes back. That's my hit, a natural high.
Now let me say this before we go. We ain't done.
Oh, no, we just getting started.
We got a whole lot of information.
And now
right?
we on the FM.
And
it's time to talk, New Orleans. It's time to talk on the AM and the FM. The #1 show on WBOK is now on the FM.
All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow.